Okay, good morning and welcome to Just Daf It. Daf Yomi Shir, led and inspired and run by Vincion Lang. Chvodo Ba'atzmo. We're learning Daf Yevamos number 42, Membeis. We have a great share for you today. We're going to be discussing, again, more of this thing that you have to wait 3 months to marry a woman who's previously been married. And we're going to discuss more in detail this machlokas in the Mishnah we had yesterday, that according to some Tanoim, you're allowed to do Erisin, you're allowed to get engaged during the 3-month period, and sometimes even if you're allowed to get married according to some Tanoim, one Tana, two Tanoim, we'll discuss that, and even with Ben Sion, whether you get married, if you're only Nisarsa to the previous husband, or if she was only engaged to the previous husband, in which case it precludes the fact that she had children from the first husband. So that's presumably why you have to wait 3 months. We'll discuss more why you have to wait 3 months. It's Chol Hamoed. Everyone is itching to get to the zoo, so I don't want to take too much time away from you. So let's get started. By the way, I did go on my Chol Hamoed trip yesterday. Last year we went to the zoo. I put out a video how much I hated it. So my wife saw that, so she sent the kids to the zoo last week before Pesach with a babysitter. Took the kids, and this year we had even grander plans for the Chol Hamoed trip. We went to Gan Sacher, a big park in Yerushalayim, where there were 10,000 people. That would probably not be such an exaggeration. I mean, a little bit of an exaggeration. There were in the thousands of people in a small park. They built this big kids park in the middle of these tall slides for these kids. I'm telling you, if this was at the height of Corona, I mean, the police would have shut it down in a second. There were lots of people in a very concentrated, small area. No one had a good time. My niece got lost for a half an hour. It wasn't fun. No one had a good time. Maybe my kids had a little bit of a good time. If you have any ideas for a Chol Hamoed trip, I'm searching for something enjoyable to do that everyone will enjoy. A Chol Hamoed trip. My initial notion, my thinking is that it has to be something that the adults enjoy and the kids will follow suit. Gotta go to some pool or some hotel or some place where the adults enjoy also. You don't just do things for your kids. This is my point. People do trips just for their kids and they suffer for their kids. Not just on Chol Hamoed, but the entire upbringing of their children. Doing it for the kids, for the kids, for the kids. Yeah, an entire main part of your life where you can enjoy your life. You're doing everything for the kids, so you're not enjoying yourself. You're a slave to your kids. This is the way it is in the world. You have to be a slave to your kids in some respects, but in other respects, being a slave to your kids really ruins your life, because you don't get to enjoy your own life, your life with your wife, your personal life. Kids demand attention. They demand having fun with them. They want to have a good time, want to have a relationship with your kids. You have to, in some respects, be a slave to them, but we really have to be complete slaves to our kids. That we have to throw away our entire adulthood, just being slaves to the kids until we marry them off. That's why people enjoy marrying their kids off so much. They don't have to be slaves to them anymore. Then you have to be slaves to them in different ways, like grandkids, slaves to pay off all the bills that your kids can't pay. All right, let's go. Hey, this is a problem. I know. I thought Chol Hamoed was supposed to be a happy time. I always find Chol Hamoed, I get angry more. I get upset more. If this is a common thing that other people share with me, I'd like to find a little bit of comfort and support. A support group. People that thought they were going to enjoy Chol Hamoed and they're not enjoying Chol Hamoed. Why not? What's going on? I don't know why this is. I always linked it to the fact that the Masechta that talks about Chol Hamoed also includes Avelos. So I didn't understand. Some way I thought Chol Hamoed, because I never enjoyed Chol Hamoed. It was like a time of increased tension, increased anger. There's more fighting in the family, more bickering between husband and wife, between kids and parents. there's just more fighting. There's more tension. I feel it in my blood. There's more tension. Why is that? Why in Chol Hamoed it's supposed to be a happy time? Is it the heart? I think even the Brisker Rav said, he said the hardest mitzvah in Mekayim in the Torah is the Zamachta B'Chagecha, which primarily applies to Chol Hamoed. Most of the Yom Tov is Chol Hamoed. It's the hardest thing to be happy on Yom Tov. Why is that? Why is it so hard to be happy when a time you're supposed to be happy in it? Presumably it's a chag, it's a vacation. It's supposed to be happy. You're not supposed to do work on Chol Hamoed. You're supposed to enjoy yourself. Why is it so difficult? Why is there so much more stress, so much more tension, so much more anger on Chol Hamoed? I don't know why. I don't know what the connection to Yevamos is. I have a different shot in Masechtas why it's called Moed Katan, which maybe shed light on how we could enjoy Chol Hamoed. Moed Katan, I said last year Masechtas Moed Katan. There's a game called Settlers of Catan. It was developed in 1995 by a German inventor of games, and Kleber, I think his name is. Moed Katan, it's a time to play board games. That's what you do on Chol Hamoed, and you also do during Yevamos. Maybe not supposed to have shul calls the entire day. Let's play board games. That would make it better. Maybe we should be playing board games. Gather up in groups and play board games. That's what the Gemara suggests. All right, let's start. And the Gemara says, Tan Rabbanan. We're about 8 lines from the bottom. Mem Aleph from a base 41 and B. Tan Rabbanan Yevamos Yishlosh Chadash Rishon Zonas K'Shal Baal. The first 3 months, Yevama, she gets nourished after her husband dies. She gets nourished from her first husband's estate. Because technically, since we learned the Mishnah, she can't get married, so therefore it's upon her husband to mefarnes her. After 3 months, she technically can get married to the Yavam. So you can't make the Baal pay and you can't make the Yavam pay because he has the right to decide. If they got him to din and they went through all the brothers and they brought him to court and they subpoenaed the older brother to court and said, make a decision, do chalitza to Yavam Barach, and he ran away and he's on Yavam. It's his responsibility. The Yavam who fled, he has to pay for her nourishment. Yavam Katan. Let's say there was only one brother and he was a minor. He couldn't do Yibam. Miyavam leist law. She obviously can't get paid from the Yavam. He doesn't have any money. He's also Katan. He can't do the mitzvah. Baal my. Should she get nourished more than 3 months from the husband's estate, the original husband's estate? Please go Racha Ravina. Racha Ravina Machlokas about this. Chadamar 8 Isla. One opinion says she does get. Chadamar Leisla. Lacha is she doesn't get. Mishamaya Kansu. The reason is it was from Hashem. Hashem made her fall from a Yavam who was a Katan, who was a minor. Happened in Hashemayim. Why should we penalize the Baal? Tan Rabbanan. Yevamos shechalzu la'achem. Let's say Yevama, the brothers did chalitza to B'tosh Shlosha Sricha lahamtin Shlosh Chadashim. She has to wait 3 months. 3 months from when? So Rashi says 3 months from when the husband died. You could interpret 3 months from when the chalitza was done, but we'll take the simple explanation. La'achar Gimel ein Sricha lahamtin Gimel Chadashim. If the chalitza is done after 3 months, right? We said yesterday you're not supposed to do chalitza in the first 3 months, but if you did it ex post facto, then it's valid. You only have to wait 3 months from the time of the death. If you do the chalitza after, then you don't have to wait at all. Heavy hagimel chadashim, you can deduce from this hagimel chadashim mishas misa baal v'lo mishas chalitza yavam. You count the 3 months from the time the husband died, and not from the time of the chalitza. Ma'ishem, yes. The Gemara asks, why does everyone get that? Rav Amar mishas nasi. Rav says you count 3 months from when the get is given. Shmuel mishas tiva. Shmuel is more mekel. He says time was written. Presumably it was written when he intended to divorce her. Rav, so you have to wait 3 months from the Sina. Amar Rav Kavachomer. He says here it's a Kavachomer. Yes, a kares hitarta. Isser lav la kol shekain. You already mated after 3 months. You mated isser kares, right? You allow yibum after 3 months. Now yibum, there's a safek kares over here. So therefore, after 3 months, we can establish that the child, that there is no viable child from the first husband. You're allowed to do yibum because it's a construct of kares. So therefore, isser lav la kol the lav. Yevama to shuk. Yevama going out to marry a shuk. Chalitza, right, allows the Yevama to marry someone else, so that there's no Isra Karis over there, there's only Isra Lav, and that certainly will be matered after 3 months. The same applies to all other women. Bishlam Yevama Kida Amran. This is still the opinion of the Tanna Kama in the Mishnah. It makes sense by the Yevamos. Ela shar kol nashim amai. Why are there women you have to wait 3 months? Amar Rav Nachman Mishmuel. Mishnah Namakal Yol Lechal Elokim Uzarecha Acharecha. Hashem says to Avram, the bris milah will be for you and your children after you. Lahavchim zaro shel rishon zaro shel sheni. Telling that HaKadosh Baruch Hu only makes a covenant, only makes a bris. Those people zaracha. It has to be known that it's your zera, your children. This teaches us additionally that you have to know exactly who the father is. Torah mandates if you want to have a covenant with Hashem, you want to have a bris with Hashem, you have to know who the father is. Rava asked the following question: the Brisa, someone else says that a convert and a convertis, a gioris, a woman who converts, they're married as goyim and now they convert and they want to remarry as Jews. So they have to wait 3 months before they get married as Jews. It's the same couple. They were married as non-Jews. Now they're married as Jews. Why do you have to wait? It's also a fulfillment of the pasuk Zarecha, because we want to know whether the child is born out of a union when they were goyim or a union when they were Jewish. That's also part of Zarecha, to know that it's really your zera of kedusha. Rav Amar Gzeira. Rav gives a different reason. He says for other people besides Yibum and Chalitza. Gzeira Shema Yisa Es HaChoso Ma'aviv. There's other problems because if we don't know who the child is from, it's from the first husband or the second husband, so therefore maybe he'll marry Achoso Ma'aviv. He'll marry his sister from a paternal brother, right? The father, there's two different fathers. The mother was with the previous father, and then she was with the second father. So he won't know. He'll think it's not his sister, because he thinks maybe, right, she was born from a different father, but really it is his father. He's not going to know which father it is. He's going to marry his sister. Alternatively, he could end up doing Yibum to Eishes Achiv Mi'imo, his brother's wife, but it's only share a mother. Meaning they don't share a father. He might think that it really is his father from his brother from his father, but it's not. They only share a mother. They are brothers from a mother because it's from a different father. Alternatively, you can matir the mother as Yevamos Shuk when she shouldn't be, right? This woman married, we don't know who the husband was. She married a Yavam or something like that. You marry the mother. The mother can marry Elishuk, right? She can marry Elishuk only if there was a child, right? So we don't know if the child was born from the first husband or the second husband. If it's born from that husband, that means that there's no construct of Yibum Chalitza over there, and therefore the mother can marry Lashuk, meaning the Yevamos can marry Lashuk. If there is a contract of Yibum Chalitza, there's no child from the first husband, then she can't marry Lashuk. Even though Lashuk. Alternatively, a fourth problem is that you can marry again the Yevamos. The Yevamos herself could be matir Lashuk when there really is a construct of Yibum, because there was no child from the first husband. Rav Chananya asked the following question: all of these cases are a problem, meaning besides Yibum Chalitza, it's a problem of erva. Vlad. Here it's because of we're worried about the child, where the child, we call the moms are not. Right? We're saying, according to Rava, we're saying the reason is because, right, you're going to marry your sister, or you're going to probably matir Yevamos Lashuk. This is takanas erva. These are our rayos over here. Mishum takanas vlad lo pagabu erva. What we mean to say it's takanas vlad. It means that the child shouldn't come to violate an erva. The child from this union, either from father A or from father B, we should know who it is, so the child shouldn't come to violate an erva. But they're all mishum erva, just some for the parents and some for the childs. Bishlam atamtin beis chadashim tinaseh lo. So what we said in the Mishnah, you have to wait 3 months. The Gemara says, why exactly 3 months? Maybe wait 2 months. If you said 2 months and marry, you can't do it. The Hainus Feka. Ibar Tisha Lakama. Ibar Shiva Labasra. If you wait 2 months, right? So then it could be, and then you have a child after 7 months, after the mother gets remarried. right? So, and they had a child for 7 months. Maybe it was 7 month child for the second union, or a 9 month child from the first marriage. Why can't you wait 1 month to marry? If they have a child, the mother remarries, they have a child for 7 months. Hi bar shiva labasra, and we know it's from the second couple. And if the child is born after 8 months of the second marriage, hi bar tisha lakamahu, it certainly was not a child of a second marriage. They only married for 7 months. They're only married for 8 months. Must be tisha lakama, because the Gemara holds that if you have a baby in the 8th month, the baby automatically dies. So if you have a child, it's not gonna be a stillborn, or it's not gonna live. So if you have a child that's viable, we assume it's a 9 month baby from the previous marriage, and she conceived the month before the first husband died. So the Gemara says, it's possible she gave birth even if she gave birth after 8 months of the second marriage, we can still say it's from the second husband. It makes sense that who says she got impregnated by the second husband right away? Maybe she got impregnated after a month, in which case it would be a 7-month-old child from the second husband. So we don't know. So why can't we wait 2.5 months and marry? If she gives 7 months after the second marriage, high bar shiva labasra, we know it's from the second husband. If she gives birth after 6.5 months, high bar tisha lakamahu, it has to be from the original, the first husband. The bar basra bar shiso pagalo chaya. 6.5-month-old kid won't live. Inami shiso pagalo. You can remember the basra. The Gemara says no. You can still say it came from the second husband. Amar zusha filaman amar yoledus tisha and yoledus mukutoin. Even if the Mandarma holds that we have a full-term pregnancy, a 9-month pregnancy, it has to be a full 9 months, 36 weeks, not 40 weeks. Nowadays, a full-term pregnancy is 40 weeks. If you've been married, the 40th week is when your wife is due. After the period, it's really probably 38 weeks. Whatever. Really, the Gemara is saying 9 months. Full 9 months is 36 months. We go by 38 months. So I guess within 36 months, it's already considered to be a full term birth. Yalda l'mkutayin, Yalda shiva yoledes l'mkutayin. It's one who gives birth early in the 7th month, right? She could have a baby any time in that 7th month. It says miyat tkufos beis. Tkufos are 3 seasons, 3 month seasons, so 2 seasons. Miyat yamim shtayim. So therefore, we assume it's 3 months period, 6 months and 2 days. So Chana gave birth at 6 months and 2 days. Anytime in the 6th month, in the 7th month, right, 6 month plus, that could be possible. If Tamtin, so the Gemara said, Tamtin mashu v'tinase. The Gemara has a different way out. Maybe you should wait a little bit and get married right away. And then after 3 months have passed since the death of the first husband, check her and see if she's pregnant. So if she's pregnant, she became pregnant from the first husband. I'm Rav Safra in Bokinus and you don't do a badika, right? In order to do a badika, you have to do an ultrasound. You have to do usually involves a gynecologist, obstetrician, gynecologist. These are invasive procedures. We don't want to do it to a nesua, because the husband is going to say they're doing this just for the previous husband. It's going to be embarrassing for him. It's an invasive procedure. We don't want to do this. Their husbands shouldn't dislike them. So let's not do invasive checking. Let's just check how they walk. You can tell by the way a woman walks. If she waddles a little bit, then she is pregnant. It's true that she does, but even if she became pregnant from the second one and she's not full 3 months, she'll fake it in order that she wants, right? She wants the son to get inheritance. So he's not going to inherit from the first husband, like get inheritance from the second husband. So she'll fake it like she's pregnant, even though she's really not pregnant from the second one. She's pregnant from the first one. Even if she's 3 months pregnant, she'll fake it and pretend she's not pregnant. She'll walk without a while. Tinasa, still the Gemara persists. If we know she is in fact pregnant, let's say she's in fact pregnant, right? She took a pregnancy test, she did an ultrasound, she's pregnant. Now, could she marry? Tinasa, Alama Tanya. Yeah, we learn in a brayso, if a husband died, leaving a pregnant wife, or even a wife who is nursing a child she just had, Nasa, you can't marry her. Nasa Yossi, if you married her, you have to get rid of her. You have to divorce her, and you can't remarry her ever. So the reason that's even more harsh. The reason we're worried over there is because if she gets married while she's pregnant, so then it could potentially ruin the fetus. Let's just explain Rashi's explanation. Somehow, you can't have a viable second child. You can't become pregnant after you're pregnant already, but it could in some way half become pregnant and ruin the vlad, ruin the fetus. So also, a man who's married to a woman and she's pregnant, he shouldn't have sex with her because, he's going to ruin. He might impregnate the woman partially. If you say according to the Mandam before, if it's haroyin b'sakana, it's a dangerous pregnancy, then you can use a condom. I don't know. Say the Mandam according to the one who says, Rachamim say that Shomer B'Sayim Hashem will have mercy. We don't have to worry about it. Achanami the Mandam Mokmok the Mandam. Mishamayim Yerachmu, Mishamayim Yerachmu, Al Mishum Mishamayim Yerachmu. Idman Mishamayim Yerachmu, Mishamayim Yerachmu, Al Mishum Dechasa. So the Gemara says the reason is because he doesn't care so much if it's a second husband and she's pregnant already. So therefore, when he has sex with her, he's together with her, so he's gonna press down on her abdomen too much, and he's not gonna care, and he might kill the child in her stomach. Also, if you're married to a woman and she's pregnant, you shouldn't have sex with her for the same reason. His own child, he'd be more careful. The Gemara says, no, wait a second. Even if it's not his own child, he's not gonna want to kill a child, a fetus. The Gemara changes course. Manika Kaima, because she is pregnant, she eventually is going to want to nurse, right, after she gives birth, top of Membeis and Medbeis. Dilma Iabro Ma'aker Chalba Vekatalei. And that's the real reason, is because maybe she'll marry a second husband, he'll become pregnant with him, and therefore, as people know, right, the milk goes much down in quality and quantity. Once she becomes pregnant again, you have to put the child on formula. But Katalei, she's not going to have formula, or she's going to kill him. Or she's going to kill him. It's going to kill the child. He can't survive on formula. So a regular man, when his wife is pregnant, he shouldn't be with her because if his wife is nursing, he shouldn't be with her because he's going to ruin the nursing for the child that's already living. His own child, have compassion, I'll give eggs and milk to the child, formula. Also, if it's the child from the first husband, he'll also do that. It's his wife. He wants to keep the child alive. So the Gemara says, Lo Yavla, Baal. The husband's not going to give it. He doesn't have so much compassion. It's not his child. He's not going to have so much compassion on it. He doesn't care if the milk goes dry. But she can go to the Yorshim, the inheritors of the first husband, and be toveya at him because he's responsible. It's his kid. He's responsible to feed the kid until the kid's 6 years old. And Rabbi, Isha Busha Lavola based in a woman, she's right, her husband, second husband doesn't care about the first child. She's not going to come with her to Beis Din. She's embarrassed to go to Beis Din. Regas has been out. She'd rather let the child die. I don't mean exactly die. I don't know, it's hard to say exactly die. I mean, she's not going to have formula, not going to have the money to buy formula. Anyway, it's going to be a sakana to the child, so therefore we don't allow it. Akas psulos v'akas bu'ulos. The Mishnah says, Tanakama says whether she's a virgin or she's not a virgin, you have to wait. Hai ninu bisulos, hai ninu arusos, hai ninu bu'ulos, hai ninu nesuos. It's a repetition in the Mishnah. It says virgins and non-virgin, and it says arusos and nesuos. Arusos obviously means they were only engaged, they were never nevelas, they're virgins. Nesuos means they were married, and they're bulos. Same thing. How I just repeated. Basically, it's just, it says it once. This is the way our school explains. It says it once psulos and buulos, virgins and non-virgins, whether their husband died or they were divorced. He's just explaining practically how it happens that she's a virgin because obviously we're talking about there was at least Erison over here in the Mishnah. No Erison, no issue to get married. Mina Erison, Beimin and Nisuin. Nisuin is talking when she's Bula. It's just an explanation. Leisure. Lo al Beimin Rosh. Leisure didn't go to the base medrash. Ashkechel Rabbi Asi. He found Rabbi Asi. Amalei my Yom Rabbanan Beimin Rosh. What did the Rabbanan say in the base medrash? Amalei Hakim Rabbi Yochanan Alach Rabbi Yossi. Halacha follows Rabbi Yossi. This will be the subject of the Ben Sion. What exactly is it? There's Machlokes and Rehuda and Rabbi Yossi give two different shitas. Presumably, they hold the same thing, that a woman should get at least to an Erison, even if she was married. And Rabbi Yehuda says if she was only engaged and she's a virgin, so therefore she can even get married within 3 months. That's Rabbi Yehuda's sheet. Whether Rabbi Yossi agrees with them or not, that's the subject of the Ben Sion. At least at this point, the Gemara says halacha is like Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi says, all he says is that everyone get engaged. I mean, even if they were married, you can get engaged in 3 months because engagement is not, you're not going to be together, presumably. You're not going to be together until you get married. So there's no problem. Or for Yevamos, but Kares. So the Gemara says, so you asked him, do you mean to say that Tana Kaman our Mishnah is a Yachid? Because if it's the Rabbanim, it's a Rabbin, we wouldn't pass like Rabbi Yossi against the Rabbin. So he said back in, yes, Tanya, you have a proof to this. She was constantly wanting to go back to her father's house. Or there was a lot of anger in her husband's house. Or her husband was in prison. Her husband is a zakin, he's very old, he's incapable of producing seed or produce children. Or he's very sick. Or she was very sick. I mean, they're talking about sicknesses where it's impossible to have children. Or she has a miscarriage after her husband died. We know it's not from her husband. Or she is barren, or she's old, or she after menopause, oktana, or islandess, or she's a ktana, can't get impregnated, or islandess. She has signs that she's like a man almost, and she can't have children. She has anything else that would prevent her for sure from getting pregnant. Meir says, yeah, no matter what it is, even if there's no reason, there's problem of rayos. No, there's nothing wrong over here. We're for sure it's not from the first husband. We know for sure that the child is from the second husband. You still have to wait 3 months. Made a low plug according to Meir. Meir says, because if you don't make this gzeira, then we're going to get confused even when in the case where she is possible for her to have a child. Rabbi Yehuda allows her to get Erison and to do Nisuin miyad, which is his shita in the Mishnah. And here in Beis in Hagos Hagra, he changed it to Rabbi Yossi, not Rabbi Yehuda, because we're trying to prove Rabbi Yossi. Amar Rabbi Chibar Abba Chazer Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Chibar Abba said Rabbi Yochanan was Chozerbo. He relented. He went back. He said the halacha is not like Rabbi Yossi. It's like Rabbi Meir or the Tanakana Mishnah. Rabbi Yossi, if he hadar b'masisa, the karma hadar. If he went back, he obviously found out about this brisa that was taught in Karen B'Yavna. The Sanya Amar B'Shol B'No Shri Yochanan Broka Shamati B'Cham B'Karen B'Yavna. We heard it wasn't just Rabbi Meir. It was the Rabbanan in Karen B'Yavna that said, all the women, no matter what they are, even if they can't have children, it's from the second husband, they have to wait 3 months. When you go in front of Rabbi ask him, did Rabbi Yochanan even have the possibility of saying Rabbi Yochanan Mishnah? Rabbi Yochanan instead, elsewhere, that the halacha always follows the anonymous opinion in the Mishnah. Tanakam, the stam, the anonymous opinion in our Mishnah, even if it's a yachid, as a stam, and Rabbi Yochanan always passes like the anonymous shita. Amarle, the Ramalacha halocha shakimche. When he asked him this, he said, whoever asks you this question doesn't understand what's going on. He doesn't even deserve to earn a living. Stam v'achak machlokas it's a stam v'achak machlokas. It's an anonymous opinion, and then someone argues on him. Ein halacha gestam. Even Rabbi Yochanan agree. In that case, you don't follow the anonymous opinion. Amar Rabbi Yochanan machlokas v'achak gestam. If there's a dissenting view and then there's an anonymous opinion, then Rabbi Yochanan says you follow the anonymous opinion. If the first opinion is the anonymous opinion and then someone argues, a Tana argues, we don't paskin like the anonymous position. Hope you enjoyed today's share. I'll see you in Yevamos coming up right now.